I want to talk today about two of the concepts that I find essential when advocating for my freedom of conscience. It seems vital to me that I'm actually observing the dictates of my conscience when I share them, and that they make sense in relationship to one another. When those things are not the case, then asserting that I should be allowed to express and live my ideas becomes more difficult. With any liberty, there are responsibilities necessary for maintaining it. Liberty of conscience isn't different in this regard. Two of the primary responsibilities that are required of people who truly wish to live according to their consciences are self-awareness and intellectual consistency. It is very often the case that when I am motivated by my conscience, that I also want to motivate others in the same direction. In other words, if I think something is good, I often wish to convince others that it is good as well. And if I think an idea or an action is misguided or flat out wrong, then I want to discourage people from it. But I need to be aware of my own relationship to those ideas and actions. If I say that something is good, but I'm not an example of that good, then my words are hollow. If I claim to oppose an idea or action of which I am actually guilty, then my claim is hypocritical. I need to be aware of both the good and the bad in my words and actions to avoid these inconsistencies. Choosing to live according to the dictates of my conscience takes an awareness of when I am and am not succeeding at doing it. Another big thing that I have found which undercuts my attempts to speak and live according to my conscience and have those ideas and actions respected is when some of them contradict each other. A lack of consistency in my message gives the appearance of hypocrisy just as much as when I claim to believe one thing while I'm doing another. Even if the hypocrisy is unintentional, it needs to be corrected before other people will take me seriously. Cultivating intellectual consistency has the added benefit that it gives me a better ability to see and act on the problem of inconsistency when it arises in others. If I'm being consistent, then I'm on better moral footing to correct those I love when they aren't. I admit it's hard and sometimes impossible to apply this kind of correction when dealing with a mere acquaintance or a stranger on the internet. This is because the two of us rarely have enough investment in the conversation to have any lasting effect on one another. But even if corrective action isn't particularly applicable outside my sphere of influence, avoiding hypocrisy is still important even in that kind of low investment conversation. As I said, freedom of conscience comes with responsibilities. Principal among those is knowing what the dictates of your conscience are and knowing when you are and aren't living as fully as you could with regard to them. That way, you are motivated to either improve those dictates or the actions they are intended to inspire. This also requires a commitment to ensuring that your ideas are consistent not only with your actions but with each other. As I have said before, I want to encourage you to examine, develop, express, and live the principles you hold most dear, and allow others to exercise their conscience in the same way.